Howdy, my name is Haley and I'm an engineering student at the University of Colorado Boulder studying creative technology and design. Are you ready to get spaced out? We'll blast off this lesson by talking all things outer space and explore how engineers tackle the challenges that come with surviving in this harsh environment. What does your body need to survive and stay healthy down on Earth? Our basic human needs boil down to air, water, shelter, and even love. We're so lucky that the Earth provides us with all of these necessities. However, space is not so generous. If you were going to travel to space for vacation, you need to find a way to pack and bring all of these supplies with you to stay healthy and safe. Aloha! You might be wondering, why is space's environment so much different than Earth's? Let's explore what makes space so unique, and how us engineers have learned to overcome the challenges that come with space travel. Ready for launch? Let's go! The first major difference between the Earth and space is their atmosphere, or lack of it. Let's first examine the Earth's atmosphere and surrounding air. The air here on Earth is made up of a very specific mixture of gases, with the biggest chunks being oxygen and nitrogen. On top of that, we're able to breathe clean air on Earth because of its atmosphere, a protective layer of gas that surrounds the planet. Outside of Earth's protective bubble, space has a near total lack of air. This creates a vacuum effect that will be fatal to us humans if we were exposed to it. So, how do engineers help astronauts to breathe up in space, where there's no air, or more importantly, oxygen? Well, we essentially have to bring up our Earth air to space, and make sure that the air is being filtered and doesn't leak out of the space shuttle. Up in space, another issue that comes from a lack of air is temperature extremes. In direct exposure to the sun, space can reach temperatures of 302 degrees Fahrenheit, while in the shadows, the temperature can go as low as -454 degrees Fahrenheit. This is way too hot or cold for our bodies to handle. But don't worry, engineers have figured out how to regulate temperature in space too. They've done so by layering special colored tiles on the outside of the space shuttle to deflect extreme heat and cold, and to insulate the interior, keeping our astronauts safe. Let's move on to comparing radiation levels between Earth and space. While on Earth, normal levels of radiation from the sun give us a nice tan. But up in space, radiation levels are extreme and can cause irreversible harm to our bodies with even the briefest exposure. For instance, solar flares are constantly blasting out of the sun and into space. Thankfully, Earth's atmosphere acts as a shield, blocking the flares and their radiation before they can reach us. Also, distant supernova explosions outside of our solar system produce cosmic radiation, whose harmful rays travel through space and can hit us. When being sent up into space, astronauts must take extra special precautions to protect themselves against harsh radiation levels. Engineers use a chemical called polyethylene and plain old water bags as shielding mechanisms for astronauts within the shuttle. The final major difference between Earth and space is gravity. On Earth, gravity is the force that pulls all objects down toward the ground. In space, however, there's a total lack of gravity, which means everything is stuck in a free fall. This can be beneficial for keeping objects in motion, but makes keeping objects stationary, including yourself, a massive challenge. How do you think astronauts stay in place to perform various tasks on the space shuttle or the International Space Station? Thankfully, engineers have made sure to add in restraints and tethers to their designs to ensure that both objects and people stay in place. You might also be wondering, how do space shuttles move around in space if there's no gravity or air to help them along? The solution that engineers have designed is in the form of powerful rocket engines that help propel the ship through space. To get around the lack of oxygen to ignite the engines, rockets carry an oxidizer, such as liquid oxygen, up into space with them. Now that we've got life on the shuttle covered, what about when astronauts need to travel outside the safety of the vehicle? Once again, engineers have it figured out. They've designed a special spacesuit that protects against the difference in atmosphere, radiation, and gravity through features like a special pressurization chamber, temperature regulators, and a helmet with a special reflective shield that deflects radiation. On top of this, engineers make sure astronauts don't float off into the distance by designing special tethers that attach to the shuttle and jetpacks to maneuver around. I hope you learned something new in exploring the difference between Earth and space. Would you want to venture off beyond Earth someday? I'll see you up there. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Check out the full lesson on the TeachEngineering website. Then, learn more about how the human body works in space and the associated lessons, move your muscles, and digestive system.